Question number 34 says the company produces packs of pencils and pens. Alright, a lot of information here as we read this. The company produces at least 100 packs of pens each day, but no more than 240. The company produces at least 70 packs of pencils each day, but no more than 170. A total of less than 300 packs of pens and pencils are produced each day. Okay. Each pack of pens makes a profit of $1.25. Each pack of pencils makes a profit of 75 cents. What is the maximum profit the company can make each day? Alright, this question is very easy to get overwhelmed because there's a ton of information up here. And we're going to use parts of every single piece of this to solve this problem. But don't get overwhelmed. Sort of take it one step at a time and just step back and think about this problem. Just think about it just common sense wise first. So it says, what is the maximum profit the company can make each day? Now what I like to do is look at these two profit numbers here. So of the two, pens or pencils, which one is going to make the most money for this company? Obviously the pens will. They're making $1.25 for each pack, where pencils they're only making 75 cents. So the more pens they can sell, the better. Alright. Now I'm going to label pens with the variable X, just to keep track of how many packs of each we have. So I'm going to use X to be pens and Y to be pencils. So if pens are more profitable, I want as many of the X as possible, and then just fill out whatever we have to with the Y's. So we want the most pens possible and the least pencils possible. So what is the least number of pencils we can have in a day? Okay, the least number of pencils we can have is 70. Alright, so 70Y is the least amount we can have. Okay, if we have 70, let me scratch that out. Let's say if Y equals 70. Okay, let's let Y be the number of pencils, the number of packs of pencils, and X will be the number of packs of pens. Okay, so Y is 70. That is the minimum number of pens we can, or number of packs of pencils we can have. And I got that information right here because it said the company produces at least 70 packs of pencils. Okay. Now the reason that's important is because if pens were the most profitable thing, then we would just try and sell as many of those as we could, which would be 240. All right. But it tells us that there were, and I got that right here. It says no more than 240 pens. But it says here that you have less than 300 packs of pens and pencils that are produced each day. So if let's just say we just wanted as many pens as we could, that would be 240. And this total has to be less than 300. So what is the biggest it could be? If it's got to be less than 300, the total of the pens and pencils has to be at the most 299. So that would leave 59 packs of pencils if we took the maximum number of pens that were allowed, which is 240. Okay? But like I said earlier, we have to have at least 70 packs of pencils. So this is what we have to go with first. So Y is what we know. Okay, the minimum number of pencils is going to give us the most profit. Alright, so that number of pencils plus the number of pens, X, has to be less than 300. Alright, so basically we want 299. That's the most we can have. So if we go with 299 packs, that is less than 300, and that is the most we can have. To solve for X, all we would do is we take away 70 from both sides, and that leaves us with X equals 229. Okay, so that means we have 70 packs of pencils, 229 packs of pens. We would have liked to have had 240, but that wouldn't have left enough pencils to meet the minimum requirements. So the number of pens is 229, and the number of pencils is 70. Alright. Now, if these are the totals, the question is, what is the maximum profit? So to find the profit from these, we have to multiply these by the number of the amount of profit we get for each pack. So 229 times 1.25, and 70 packs of pencils times its profit, 0.75. And we would just plug these in our calculator. Okay. So if you do 229 times 1.25 in your calculator, you come up with 286.25. And if you were to plug in 70 packs of pencils times 75 cents per pack, you get a total of $52 and it's 52.5, so $52.50. So if we add these two together, 286.25 plus 52.50, if we just add these numbers together here, this will be our total profit, and the answer we get is $338.75. Okay, and that answer goes with part A. All right, very complicated problem, a lot of information here. Okay, and it's easy to get lost in what's going on, but we just have to think through this one logically. Okay, if we try and set up a system, it's going to be a pretty nasty system because we've got limits as to how big X and Y can be. System would not be a good idea here because you would have to use inequalities, and that's not what we want to do for this one. But if you think through it logically, the more pins we can have, the better, because that gives us more money. And we have a limit to how many pins we can get, but more importantly, we have a limit to how many pencils we have to have. Okay, we had to have at least 70. So that is what we use down here in this equation. This is the equation we actually solved. X was the number of pins. We knew that we had to have 70 pencils. That was the least we could get away with and still make the most money. And we knew it had to be less than 300 total, so we set it equal to 299, solve for X, and then we found the profit based off of those totals. And we got 338.75, which is